Yeah, what's going on? Welcome to Canada Laughs, Channel 168. We are the Todd Shapiro Show, and we do this every single weekday. We've been doing it for quite some time, Jay Brody, and we have a blast doing it again. We're on from 4 to 6. What we do is we put it up on iTunes a little bit later. We put it up on the ToddShapiroShow.com, and we have a YouTube channel. YouTube.com/Todd Shapiro Show. And we're not YouTube experts, Jay Brody, but lately, our YouTube channel, this little channel that we do, which it's not like we're sitting there creating videos. We're just putting up videos from the show and throwing them on the YouTube channel so people get to see our faces. That, let's be honest, we're meant to be on radio. You really should never look at these faces.
Our main business isn't YouTube. We're not YouTubers. We put our show on there, hopefully get another couple eyes on it and bring people back to the big platform, which is SiriusXM.
Yeah, a great platform here, and we're blessed to be on it every single day, as I said, weekday. And, this is the deal. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this world. A lot of real problems in this world. Hear about these refugees?
Syrian refugees washing up on shore. Real sad.
Just tragic. The picture of the 3-year-old boy who had died and the father there. And now, here in Canada, there's controversy. Should we accept them? Should we not? There's so many real problems in this world. There's cancer.
Yeah.
Cancer is a massive disease that is taking so many of our loved ones' lives. For example, we are doing a thing in the Road Hockey to Conquer Cancer, which is an event here in Toronto for the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation. And we decided, hey, you know what? Let's promote this nonstop. Let's get you guys involved. Let's encourage you to help donate. We would love if you did that. You just go to the ToddShapiroShow.com. You click on a top banner, and then you go to the donation page. We're at like $7,000 basically of donating, and we got thousands of dollars more to come. And what we're doing is we're giving back. We're making a difference for real problems in this world. That is our duty. That is our privilege, being able to have a voice. And we ask of you, especially for this Road Hockey to Conquer Cancer, maybe you can give us $1. Maybe you can give us $8. It all counts.
Yeah.
Go and weigh your bank account. If you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in there, maybe you can afford to give us $500. Not us. We're not taking your money. We're giving it to cancer. The second leading cancer institute in the world, the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation. And if you only have $1, every bit counts. We're so grateful for even your $1.
Every little bit helps.
And thank you for that. And thank you for so many people helping out, especially JerseyFactory.com, Robert from TicketPartners.com. We also had Ed from CoreCabling.com give big donations. We couldn't do without you. Cancer, refugees. Oh, man, the world's in rough shape. The economy, people are freaking out. How have we invested our money? Have you made sure to take care of yourself for 20, 25, 30 years from now, where often we don't think of ourselves living at 70, needing help, needing care, needing to be in an old age home? Have we planned for that future? Have we planned to help take care of our children who are having a more difficult time finding jobs these days? A lot of problems. Economy, the distinction between rich and poor is growing every day. These are the real issues in life, people. And there's so many more to talk about, too. And all you got to do is go on to any legitimate publication or website or news outlet and hear them and see them. And it's depressing and it's sad. And unfortunately, it's a cynical outlook when you only read about news stories and murders and crime and all this kind of stuff. And what is it that entertainers can do? Well, entertainers can do their very best, and we are entertainers, whether you like our entertaining or not. We can do our very best to try, with humor that may be subjective, whether you like or don't like, to at least try and make a difference and be inspirational to all of you. That is our goal. And many of us have those goals, and many of us try to have those goals while trying to entertain, whether it's through comedy means, whether it's through vlogging on YouTube, whether it's through, artistic, tagging and spray paint on garages and people have messages. It's all a form of entertainment. Some people like stuff. Some people don't like stuff. That's the facts of this world. It's typically split 50-50 down the middle. And you can be a polarizing figure that way. You can have 50% of the people who like things, and you can have 50% of people who don't like things. And then once in a while, there's cases in this world where really, if you weigh comments, and that's how we all weigh things these days, it's a great gauge on YouTube or on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever social media platforms, your big one, Twitter, whatever it might be. Does anyone use MySpace anymore?
No, just Tom. It's only Tom left on MySpace.
And you go through these comments, and once in a while you go, you know what? It seems, and I haven't done all the metrics, but it actually seems like 90% of people, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, 85% of people, they really just don't agree with something. They really just they're a voice of the community, the interweb, this worldwide web where everyone is on an equal playing field because they have a voice. And some choose to be keyboard warriors and don't put their pictures in a little screenshot there and make up a fake name and say whatever they want. And then others go out and say pretty outlandish comments and have their name, their full name and their Twitter handle, and you know how to get in touch with them and are putting it out there. And then there's others who just comment in a good way. Try and do that moral message. Try and say, hey, this seemed to be a little bit too much. This seemed to push the boundaries a little bit too far. Maybe we should think of others. Maybe we should have a heart. Maybe we should have compassion. YouTube comments are wild, and you can get caught up in them. And again, I go back to YouTube because this is such a new world to me. And I'm watching what's happening in a situation now, Jay Brody, that we've been involved in. And we've been involved in it sort of organically. Like it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
We're a program that we talk about things that are pulp culture. I always say pulp.
You said pulp.
There's no pulp in culture. It's an orange juice.
Do you like your orange juice with pulp in it, though?
I love pulp culture orange juice.
Gives me heartburn. First sip, I get heartburn.
Pulp culture happens. And as a show where we try and entertain, we cover the Miley Cyruses of this world, we question her outfits on the VMAs because of the audience that the VMAs attract. I interviewed her sister, Brandy Cyrus. It's Brandy.
Dyke.
Met her at the Fan Expo. Was a lovely lady, and I asked her, I go, is it okay, your sister? And she gave a great answer. She said, you know what, our parents taught us to be who we are, and that's who she is. And just because I question Miley Cyrus's outfits because of the influence that it gives to a younger generation, it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Who the fuck is Todd Shapiro? Just a guy who has a privilege to do this job to speak to hundreds of thousands of people. And then there's other subjective videos that are going around right now that we as a show have chosen to comment on because, again, we feel like there are times that we have to be in defense of those because of our bigger platform who may be hurt. And in this case, I truly acted very emotionally about a video that, and you know where I'm getting at, this girl, Nicole Arbour, who's the talk of the world right now, and is really kind of the talk of our show, because I'm looking up what's going on our YouTube, and these videos are getting more attention in a few days than most of them get. So obviously it's resonating somehow, and she's the reason for it. She's one of these polarizing figures. Although it seems as though this latest video, the one that we kind of went off on, which we didn't like, and that's subjective. I think Jim Norton went on today saying he did like it.
Well, I watched what Jim Norton did, and he was kind of more making fun of the responses. There's a lot of people had, like, there's a response from a few people that was kind of out of touch, not educated, and was on the other end of the spectrum. Someone who's very obese talking about how it's okay to be extremely obese.
And I think that's maybe a different take than Jay Brody you and I had on.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I still really like Jim Norton. We had him on the show the other day. We gave away tickets to his Oddball Comedy Fest. People are allowed different opinions. Doesn't mean one is right, and it doesn't mean that one is wrong. But I can tell you that video that I saw with the fat shaming, and we'll play some clips. Did you find it or no? Can you find it anywhere?
With the
Nicole Arbour's fat shaming video?
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah. I just want to play again a couple of clips from it to show you why I just don't agree with it.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know. Comedy's subjective. There's some things I say that people find not funny at all. And then there's others who are like, that was fucking funny. There's some things I say that I don't find funny. And others say, oh my God, that was hilarious. I didn't even get it. I don't even get my own jokes sometimes. But when it comes to this Nicole Arbour story, comedy is subjective, people. And whether it's comedy or not is also subjective. Okay? And when I read the comments and I see what I've deemed to be 85 to 90% without truly measuring it all, perfectly, it just looks like the majority doesn't like these latest videos she's doing.
Yeah.
The fat shaming and the...
A lot of people got offended at, mostly the fat shaming. Her Dear Instagram model video wasn't as popular. Still did good numbers. The most offensive video ever she put out wasn't as popular either. But the fat shaming is what people have taken the most offense to.
And I know, Jay Brody, you took a lot of offense to it, not as a man who struggled with this, but in the perspective of a child that might be listening, going, oh my God, shouldn't we have accountability to younger audiences and not try and make them feel a certain way when they can't really dissect what maybe there is maybe the true message is? And I'm not saying I get that true message either, because it seems to be very hypocritical. But Nicole Arbour is trying to say, hey, this is just a video trying to be funny, and I didn't want kids to see it.
Yeah, and listen, we've crossed paths with her in the past, and being from the same city, and I was in her music video, so I got to know her a little bit. And previous, it was very, she had this Go Team, and she still does hashtag Go Team. It's very inspirational, modeled, geared towards young girls, and she would go to events with her Go Team fans and sell T-shirts to young girls, and it was all very inspirational and great. And that's her market, and that's wonderful. Young girls need people to inspire them. It's fantastic. But then this Dear Fat Shaming video comes out, and it's going out directly to her subscribers, which are young girls, and it has in my opinion, a terrible message. If you're marketing to young girls, that's a terrible message to throw out. If you're on a stage, it's a different story in an adult club filled with adults drinking. But you build your subscriber list on these young girls, and they're going to be listening to this, not understanding the nuances and the nuances to different things, and just being blown away by having their hero basically call them a fat piece of shit.
So this is the subjective part, and we'll get into her younger audience in a bit and what she says about that. Yesterday on the program, there were some very serious allegations, and I'm not even going to repeat what those allegations are, but if you'd like, you can go and look for them yourselves. Rob Dyke, who's a very popular YouTuber, massively popular, 2 million subscribers. Dude's huge. He's got Seriously Strange. He's got Zombie Horse, and came on the program, reached out to me through Twitter, and he told the story on our show about the breakup of Nicole Arbour and this other wildly popular dude, close to 5 million subscribers on YouTube, Matthew Santoro. Now, these are allegations that are strong and heavy and maybe even criminal. And I just want to make sure that everyone understands, until you have all sides of every story, you cannot take them as being true right now. Now, Matthew Santoro might have his side of the story of what Rob Dyke said, and maybe he agrees with it. I don't know. And Nicole Arbour most definitely has her side of this story. By the way, Matthew Santoro and I had a private conversation today. We were in response to one another in direct messaging on Twitter. We had a conversation. It's out of complete respect to Matthew. I'm never going to mention that conversation on air. I won't say what he said. I won't say any of it other than the fact that we talked. I just think it's important. Full disclosure. We'll not air it. And he might come on the show one day. Who knows? And I open up these airwaves on SiriusXM and later on iTunes and later on the ToddShapiroShow.com and then later on YouTube.com/Todd Shapiro Show. Looking right at the camera. I'm learning my YouTube technique. Matthew Santoro, if you'd like to come on the show, feel free to do so and give your side. And Nicole Arbour. Honestly, Nicole, whatever history we've had with you co-hosting this program, feel free to come on the program and give your side of the story. Because I don't know what's true. All I know is what was said on our show, which I reminded everyone and continue to do so, that these are allegations. This is alleged. This is not fact. And this is pretty harsh accusations as well. So Rob Dyke, it's up to him. He either has evidence or he doesn't. So I'm not passing judgment on the story by Rob Dyke. And I won't pass judgment on why or how they broke up, other than the fact that listen for yourself and you can choose to believe what you want. Okay? I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. All I know is I want to get to the bottom of it. So I'm opening up this program, the Todd Shapiro Show on SiriusXM, channel 168, to either Nicole Arbour or Matthew Santoro, if you feel like you'd like to respond to what Rob Dyke said. Now, with all that being said, what I can still concretely say, in my opinion, is terrible, is the content of Nicole Arbour's recent videos. I believe that the fat shaming was too much. I believe that her point of trying to help people at the end of it through some sort of tough love isn't an approach that I would want to take. Nor did I find it funny. I didn't laugh. Jay, did you laugh?
No, I didn't. There wasn't really much to laugh at. It was kind of, the laugh started at the beginning, and then by the end of the video, there was no more joking. It was just kind of gross lecture.
It felt hurtful.
Yeah.
And some people could say, and there's some people out there who are a bit obese going, hey, I didn't mind this video. Everyone's entitled to their opinion on comedy. Whether it's comedy or not is the other thing I said. I don't know. I didn't like it. And I think Nicole Arbour, who I want to come on my show, I just think she should be careful on the message she gives across. I don't even know what that is. But in my opinion, I can tell you that I feel like she did it to get a rise, and congrats to her, she got that attention. Made it to CNN. She's in London, UK, whatever. She's all over the world right now. Very popular. She got the attention that I'm sure most entertainers would love, because usually the more attention you get, the more of a following you have. At the end of the day, people who do this business, you also want to make money doing it. And you may have a passion. You may want to make people laugh. But I can tell you this. When you start making money for doing this, for something you love to do, it gets all that much better. And followings and listeners and YouTube videos and comments and Twitters and all these guys and whatever, they help monetize your career. You people help monetize my career if you support me. And you people help Nicole Arbour have a career if you support her. And you help Rob Dyke have a great career, and Matthew Santoro as well. You guys give us careers. For those who give me a career, and Jay Brody and Roddy Comer, thank you. And for those who are newer to the program, thank you for listening today if you've never heard it before. She has done that part of her career successfully. However, There are some that might not like her message. So the controversy sometimes isn't worth it. And I can tell you, and call me a pussy, I really don't like the controversy. It's not for me. If I could just come in here, I try and tell some jokes. Some of them might be funny. Some of them might not be. I try and talk about topical stories and politics and pop culture. Got it right that time. And just try and entertain you and give you a different way of thinking. Meaning, hey, don't always believe what you see in the mainstream media, people. Don't always believe it. Maybe try and take a different approach. You know, when I was in grade 3, I tried out for the gifted class because my mom thought I might be gifted. And the first response was, man, your son is nowhere close to gifted. But what they said to me was, he had an interesting answer. Todd Shapiro, at 6 or 7 years old, had an interesting answer to one of the questions, which shows that his mind does think differently, but he is not gifted. The question was, what is the similarities between a pound and a yard? And a pound and a yard are both forms of measurement. My answer was, oh, easy, it's where dogs stay. They're either in a pound or a yard. My point being is sometimes you can just think things differently. It doesn't have to be the way it's deemed to be. I didn't get into gifted for that answer, but I also showed some creativity that others took notice of. Nicole Arbour, the only thing I will say, and please come on the show regarding those allegations and have your side of the story, okay? And I know you know about them because I know you've been in touch with people here. To be completely candid, your team of people have been in touch with our team of people here. Those are the facts. Can't get in trouble for facts. That's a fact. I don't know if the other thing is a fact, those allegations, which I don't even want to report because I'm not an exploitive program. But I'm a topical program, so I also can't avoid topics that are in the news today. So please come on. But I will tell you again that just be careful about your message. And back to what Jay Brody said. And anyone can kind of do this. If you go on her Twitter followers or if you go look at follows her and subscribes to her on YouTube, you can get a gauge of the people who follow her. They're younger teenagers. You can see it. It's that obvious and that clear. It's right in front of everybody. My following, and I've had to do metrics, I've had to show people, are 96 or 7% adults. And that's why we do an adult show. And if you're under 19, don't listen. We swear it's explicit. We're on the only uncensored channel in all of Canada here on SiriusXM. The only public, even though it's a subscription-based show, you can access it, and we even put explicit on the internet. We don't have to do that. I'd probably have more downloads if I didn't do that. But that is my accountability to people listening. You should be an adult if you're listening to the Todd Shapiro Show. The same way I think you should be an adult if you're listening to Nicole Arbour. Now, Nicole Arbour tweeted today where she said, regarding this fat shaming video, I'm really sorry. This is Nicole Arbour. She tweeted this about 16 hours ago. I'm really sorry that YouTubers with preteen and kid audiences have shared my adult-aimed comedy videos. Was never meant for kids. Now, if I look at the metrics of who follows her, I see that teens do follow her. So I just don't know, Nicole, why you wouldn't want to be more careful. And I'm not accusing you saying you're lying here. Was never meant for kids. Maybe it wasn't. But I know in this day and age when metrics are so readily available, especially when you're such a YouTube sensation that you are, and you know who's going and looking and commenting, maybe you could be more careful. And the truth is, we had some disagreements when she was on the show here about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
A year and 3 months ago. It was in June of 2014. And we had a lot of fun at first, and then we had some disagreements with content for our adult audience, which is fine because it's subjective content. Of course, there can be disagreements. Jay and I disagree all the time.
Yeah.
And I guess the thing that confuses me is that her manager at the time emailed me. And I'm going to read you the email. This is a factual email from her manager that just told me that Nicole's brand has changed over the years, as well as her personal stand on certain things. She had a great time on the show yesterday, but was uncomfortable with commentary. Everything else was great. It was specifically the watching and the commentary. It's completely fine for your show. Knowing that we are an adult show, I'm saying my opinion on it. He writes, it's completely fine for your show, but she can't be on certain segments in the future since it goes... she can't be on those segments in the future since it goes against her brand. Now, this is the sentence that stands out to me. She has a massive female teen following and does inspirational videos, female empowerment. It's a fine line, all of which you are welcome to discuss openly with Nicole. Just a heads up for future so you can plan to have another person for those topics. Those being adult topics, which we're an adult show. He then goes on to say she's having a blast on your show and he appreciates how you speak of her highly on air. Blah, 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 it goes on. So unless she's changed her approach in the last year, which maybe she has done, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But does that following last year, quote, I'm going to find it here. So I wrote it down, Jay Brody. A massive female teen audience. Does that go away? Does that just go away one day?
No, that's...
So even if she changed her approach, does it just disappear?
It's consistent.
So I just want to say, let's have accountability, everybody, to who our audience is. I don't want to deal with this much longer. I really don't. I can tell you, it just doesn't feel like empowering, those videos I saw recently. It really doesn't feel like how empowering should be. I watch TED Talks. Those are empowering. I watch documentaries of people who have been extraordinarily human beings to save other people from suffering and hunger and any despicable thing that you can think of that happens in this world. That's empowering. I don't believe that this is. This is entertainment that is not funny. JD, there's no point playing the clip, maybe, is there?
The video? No, I think we've, over 2 million listeners have heard it, and 2 million viewers, beating a dead horse at this point. The video isn't, it's not...
People know.
People know. It's just not acceptable for that audience that she's built and marketed herself towards. It's like a swerve, right?
Yeah, just to say sorry. Why don't you just come out and say sorry for saying things that are terrible to a younger audience?
Or don't, and take the video down and put up a disclaimer at the front of it saying this video is for adults. Mark it explicit. Make it so that, it's marked explicit. But by this point, all of her subscribers, most of them being young girls, not anymore since this video, but, the 80,000 or so she had before that video came out, was all, really young girls.
Tweet us, by the way, what you think at I am Toddy Tickles, at the J Brody, at Roddy Comer, at Todd Shapiro Show. Give us your opinion on this stuff. Call us 416-717-7777 if you want to join us and get into this conversation today on the program. And I remind you, if you heard yesterday's show or saw a YouTube video with Rob Dyke about the comments about her relationship, her being Nicole Arbour with Matthew Santoro, don't pass judgment on that one. It's all alleged right now. And if Matthew and Nicole want to talk about it, they can. But if you want to pass judgment on her deemed comedy, you're allowed to do that. That you are allowed to do. You're allowed to debate if she's really a comedian. You're allowed to debate if you think it's funny. You're allowed to debate if this is empowering. You're allowed to give your opinion on if it's really mean-spirited and seems a little bit bullyish. And you can even go and debate on YouTube all over the place if it's a hypocritical, talking out of two sides of your mouth, mean-spirited message that is really bad for children to see. Just go and debate all you want about that stuff, but do not pass judgment on what Rob Dyke said yesterday. Find out all the facts before you do that, okay? I want to say one other thing. Should I say another thing, Jay Brody?
Go for it.
I think what kind of upsets me, and maybe it's just because I'm older and I've done this for too long. And maybe it's because, as Al Pacino once said in Scent of a Woman, I'm too old and too damn tired. And maybe it's because I just don't make enough money. I just have become so discouraged by other mainstream media outlets who are really afraid to speak up, knowing that this can't be good for kids. And she was on a major radio show, Nicole Arbour was, this morning with, and I won't say who it is, and I won't say the channel, but it was the only interview I believe she did in the morning. It could have, there could have been more. I just know that people brought it to my attention. And I was up with my 5-week-old child, Sawyer Shapiro, who's going to be a superhero one day, raised with good morals. And I heard this interview, and I guess I wish that these mainstream medias, and I'm almost imploring to them, is to stand up more for your audience. And maybe don't protect the bigger star in the material that's being used. Because people got to see that that's a bit bullyish, man. And people really, if you're talking to a younger audience, you don't got to kiss butt to the bigger star because it's good for your ratings. Maybe just let them know that you think they're wrong. What is so wrong with telling people that you think they're wrong for saying something? Why are we so afraid? No one should be accepting. Come on, in the mainstream media, we should not be accepting that fat shaming video from Nicole. We shouldn't be. Satire, it's because she's a comedian. You know what, man? Can you imagine if the Disney Channel released a video like that? Or if Taylor Swift released a video like that?
It would drive people crazy. It would blow minds. People would go nuts. Little girls would be crushed.
And I don't know all the metrics, but I can tell you there's a crossover in some audience from Taylor Swift and from the Disney Channel to who Nicole's speaking to. And when this mainstream media talks to her or talks to these bigger stars, why don't we just be careful when there are those that target groups, stereotype other groups, which seems like it's for their own good. And I don't know. This subjective manner of what's funny and what's free speech, I guess maybe it's just in my opinion. It's just try and understand your audience and try and understand the difference that you can potentially make to them, positive and negative. And if the negatives outweigh the positives, then maybe just dial it back a bit. Is it worth it at the end of the day? I don't know. I don't know. And we as stars got to start being accountable. Role models, and let's work on messages that we put out there. We can fix this. Every single one of us who do this, we can fix this. Let's stop being desperate for fame. And let's start inspiring as opposed to hurting people to blatantly get to that fame. I'm going to leave you with that. I had a bunch of clips I wanted to support what I said with, but no point. I don't even want to hear them anymore. We're going to move on. We have a good show, man. We have a comedian from the Laugh Factory 15 on. Max Amini, you know this guy?
Max Amini's
been on the show before.
Fantastic.
Really funny dude. Ari Goldkind. He's a lawyer. He ran for politics. He finished 4th in the mayoral race here in Toronto. He's going to join us. And then if you want to call us and join the conversation, feel free to do so at 416-717-7777. Or if it's still working, because I don't think I've paid my phone bill. Back to that, I don't make enough money part. 1-844-887-7469, extension 2. And for those American listeners today, that's 2. And that's all the French I know. Give us a call. Give us a tweet at DJ Brody, at I am Toddy Tickles. We're very grateful for you listening to us and understanding what we're trying to tell you. And we're going to take a moment now just to chill out a bit. You chill out too. All right, guys? Chill out. Everyone needs to chill out. You're listening to the Todd Shapiro Show on Sirius XM.